I'm supposed to be a man, and I'm supposed to be black. Hey, teleprompter, I'm supposed to be dressed in black. But today is not my day. So let's look at their criterions and the voting issues to really cover the round and show you why we should align with the Saturnian aliens and really make sure that our planet isn't going to be decimated by the Plutonian aliens. We don't want Pluto to become the biggest planet in the world or to overcome Earth, and then we'll have two Plutos, except one's going to be a dwarf planet and one's going to be a real planet. That just doesn't work. So let's start off first with the voting issues of the opposition team. The first voting issue was out of the pot and into the fire, out of the pan into the fire. Something like basically what they are saying, it's a bad strategy. However, I would like to urge you to look back to the contention one of immediate problem. My first response under this is a life or death situation. It's really a life or death situation. Do you want to be killed by the aliens that are threatening us today, or do you want to give them a chance, and maybe you might be killed by the Plutonian aliens, but at least you get a chance to fight? So it's really a life or death situation. The problem is immediate. That's not been refuted by the opposition team, so we need to give them an answer, and the vital answer. And if we don't give them an answer, yes, if we don't align with the aliens, then they will threaten us, they will be hostile to us, and use the ultrasonic laser beams to kill us, basically. So, we cannot consider this a bad strategy. We're voting for life here. Do you want life? I want life. My fellow citizens have life. So, the second voting issue that was presented by the opposition team was it has to be morally right. I find this very interesting, but my first response to this is life. Again, do you want life? I want life. Let's have life. Because if we do not align with these aliens, no one will have a life. No one can make morals if they don't have a life. And you won't be able to make morals if you have life. And there will be no America. So, if you want to have a moral life, you need to stick with the government team. And really, there is a threat to justice. Justice is being fair. And it's not fair to kill people, so we cannot allow the Saturnian aliens to kill us, so we should go and fight those Plutonian aliens who don't really qualify as men because they haven't reached Earth. So, moving on to the idea of imperialism. This idea is that when we align with these aliens, we're going to have to go conquer Pluto and rule Pluto. This is not found in the resolution whatsoever. But what we did establish at the very beginning of the round is that what comply means is to give them water and to make sure their ship got off the land. That's what it meant to comply with the aliens and make sure that we get those two things done. That's what it means to align with the aliens. That's exactly what the government team is doing. We're not going and fighting Pluto and conquering Pluto and making Pluto Earth dwarf planet. Finally, we can look to the third voting issue. I believe it was the third voting issue, talking about how it's the policy and fact action. Now, I don't believe this has any impact to the round because if you vote for the government team, you still vote for the resolution and still vote for the course of action of aligning with this. However, also, the opposition team made no mention of this when we established at the beginning of the round that this was a fact resolution. So they can't just come up and say at the end, at the last speech, say, oh, now it's a policy resolution. There was no wording of this at the beginning of the round. So the third version of issues was talking about policy, and also they also said, quote, you do not want to be subject to these aliens. However, they're talking about the Saturnian aliens. If we don't align with the Saturnian aliens, we'll be subject to the Plutonian aliens. Who do you want to be subject to? The Saturnian aliens. We want to be aligned with them so that we can have national security and that our American citizens will not be threatened in any way by these Saturnian aliens. So really bringing it back to the contentions of the government team. First, there is an immediate problem and we need a solution. But secondly, the contention too of we need an immediate solution, and that is the only thing that the government team is doing. Now, the opposition team has been talking about how we're America and we can't just decide for the rest of the world. Actually, the government team is Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, and the opposition team is Miss Bachman and Miss Palin. So, do you want Miss Palin to decide the future of the world? No. We want America to decide. So, it's not the United States doing its unilateral action. Or if it was, then they're also doing unilateral action unconstitutionally because they're not the president. So you should vote for the president at the end of the round. So really, those are the voting issues. 1, immediate problem, and 2, immediate solution. We will save the world. Thank you.